Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, today I want to talk about the elevation of Prince Charles to King Charles, King of England. It's a pretty monumental event. And I thought by showing his chart, we could really see how astrology works. It just still amazes me every day when I work with astrology, how accurate it is, how it proves points and can tell the future. It's really incredible. So by showing his chart, we will see exactly what was supposed to happen to him this year. So today it is, as I'm shooting this video, it is May 6th, the day of his coronation. That's why I thought, well, I've got to do a chart on this, because I pulled up his chart and I was just flabbergasted at the accuracy of the timing that you could see all of this coming about. So now that he is King Charles, let me put up his chart and we're going to see exactly how this could have been predicted. Now, before I do so, I have to remind everyone I have a conference. This is such a big deal to put on an international conference. A lot of work, but so well worth it, because I'm opening the doors to bring everyone together in person and learn this remarkable, incredible tool that we have with astrology. And Vedic astrology is the true placements of where everything is astronomically. How can you deny this? It can't be. So let me just get this over with so all of you can see the chart of King Charles. But I just want to remind you, it's June 2nd through the 5th. Dallas, Texas. You do not want to miss it. We have so many people signing up for this conference, and you're going to want to be part of it. It's in Dallas. You still have time to sign up, get here. Dallas is so easy to get to, and they have all these great deals on the airlines right now. What are you waiting for? Get to Dallas, join this community, and you are going to learn things that you never thought possible to be able to predict your future in others. This is such a powerful tool. So it is called futureofastrology.com, and come to Dallas, meet some of the most premier teachers that are going to be giving such incredible information, and I hope I see you there. And last but not least, to be able to be in the know of everything that I predict, plus what's going on with me, join my free newsletter. Every week you can get my free newsletter delivered to your email address. Go to galacticcenter.org. And also while you're there, check out my magazine, Joni Patry's Astrology Insights. Every month we have a new issue interviewing some of the most esteemed metaphysicians and astrologers in the world. Only $9.99 a month. You can find that on galacticcenter.org. Now let me bring my chair over here so we can fit in the King of England's chart now. King Charles. Look at his chart over here. And I think it's so interesting when we look at his chart. Now he has a Cancer rising, so the moon is the chart ruler. Whatever planet rules the ascendant is the chart ruler. So the moon rules Cancer. So the moon, wherever it goes, is so valuable and important. Look where his moon goes. It is in the 10th house, which is the house of the public, the career, social standing. The most powerful house of public recognition is the 10th house. And he has the moon there. And I often say whenever people have the moon in the 10th house, they're famous. And when you add Rahu, I mean, this is one of the most famous people in the world. Moon Rahu in the 10th house. But what I find so fascinating just about that moon, that right now, Jupiter is on it. the transit of Jupiter. You see, the way that we do astrology is these are where all the planets were at his time of birth: day, place, year, and month of birth. Then we take where the planets are moving constantly in the heavens. And when they cross over the natal planets, they activate them. Jupiter just went into Aries, into his 10th house. And that was what? That was April 21st. Jupiter went into Aries. And now it's almost exactly on his moon. It's almost 4 degrees. And his moon sits at 7, so it is applying an aspect. And just by the fact Jupiter is in the 10th. Wow, that's social standing. So it gives him an incredible rise in opportunity. But let me tell you something else about what the moon represents in our charts. The mother. Yes, the mother. His mother was the Queen of England. What, for 70 years? Amazing that, of course, it would be due to his heritage, his family, his mother, that he becomes the King of England. So Jupiter is transiting over this. Let me tell you another thing that just blows my mind. We just had the eclipses. On the 20th of April was the solar eclipse. And guess where it was? Of course, in Aries. And the degree of that solar eclipse, get this, was 6 degrees of Aries. That is where the sun and the moon were exact together at the time of the solar eclipse, within a degree of his moon in the 10th house. And now Jupiter's come to join. So we have Jupiter, Rahu, Sun, all together on top of his moon in the 10th house. This is like the rise to fame, to fortune, to being the most powerful, richest. Did you know that the English monarchy is the richest organization in the world? Beats out the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers. This is it. Doesn't get much better than that. Look at the eclipse in Jupiter on that moon. Pretty incredible. And not only that, here's something else I find very, very interesting. That the eclipses have been occurring in Libra and Aries. And going back to last October, when we had the solar eclipse, and it was in Libra, we've had K2 in Libra. So K2, remember the eclipses are always the sun, the moon, and Rahu and K2. Rahu and K2 stay in a sign, by the way, for a year and a half, 18 months. And Rahu and K2 have been in Aries, Libra, Rahu in Aries, K2 in Libra, since March of 2022. And they will stay in Aries, Libra till the end of November of 2023. That's a year and a half. So this is what's so interesting. Rahu gives, right? Rahu gives expansion and it gives. So it's a no wonder that Rahu, and he has a return of the nodes. He has a return of the nodes. So Rahu is on his Rahu and K2 is on his K2. This happens where the nodal axes come forth and return back to their starting positions every 18 and a half years. So Rahu, again, is on his Rahu. And I always tell all my students that when Rahu comes to Rahu, it reminds us of our purpose and our destiny in this world. So what was his destiny? Came into this world to be King of England. It's all coming into play. Rahu and Jupiter on his Rahu moon. Amazing. I mean, I'm not even looking at anything else but Jupiter and the nodal axes and the eclipses to see this powerful event and just how powerful eclipses and this Jupiter-Rahu conjunction that's coming together right now truly are. Now, one more thing I want to add to this. During the time that his mother passed, which was, I don't remember exactly, but it was this year. It was somewhere around maybe February or March, somewhere in there. And if you recall, during this whole time, Ketu, during the time that his mother did pass, Ketu's been in Libra, right? Throw that in the chart. And what do you have? You have Ketu in the 4th house. And Ketu is considered the indicator of losses. So Ketu being in the 4th house, he lost his mother. But Rahu being in the 10th house, he gained the throne. I think this is so advantageous to be able to know this. And let me throw another dimension of light onto this. In Vedic astrology, we use what's called the dashas. The dashas are another tool for prediction. They actually give us the big picture of what we can expect in our lives. And I think it's fascinating that King Charles is in the dasha of Jupiter. So you see, whenever somebody goes into a dasha, then that natal position of that planet is activated, and the transiting planets of that planet, of your dasha lord, will be activated, more so than ever. So during the time that he's in Jupiter's Mahadasha, as a matter of fact, he's been in Jupiter-Venus from November 28th of 2020, and he'll be in that sub-cycle of Venus till July 30th of 2023. And Venus is another planet that's very strong in his chart, even though it is debilitated, but it represents the change in the loss of his mother. But let me show you something about Jupiter. If he's in Jupiter's Mahadasha, then where is his natal Jupiter? Look in his chart. His natal Jupiter sits there in Sagittarius in the 6th house. What is so amazing about this is his Jupiter at 6 degrees of Sagittarius is in a trinal aspect. Jupiter casts trines, which is 5 and 9 signs away, which is a 120-degree orb. But it is the most positive aspect, a trine. So what I'm trying to say is his natal Jupiter in Sagittarius casts a trine to his moon. But while transiting Jupiter sits in Aries, it is casting a trine to his natal Jupiter, which is his Mahadasha ruling planet. So you know he's coming into his own right now. This is his job. This is his destiny. Jupiter aspecting Jupiter, transiting Jupiter in his 10th house, casting a trine to his natal Jupiter in the 6th house, ruler of the 9th. 9th house is luck and fortune. But I find it fascinating that Jupiter is aspecting Jupiter, and he's in his Jupiter Mahadasha. Notice his Jupiter sits at 6 degrees. Where was that eclipse? 6 degrees. So there was an exact trine with the eclipse to his natal Jupiter while he is in Jupiter's Mahadasha. I think this is just phenomenal. And actually, if you want to go a little step further, his Saturn sits in Leo at 12 degrees. So as transiting Jupiter sits in a fire sign of Aries, it is casting a grand trine to sitting on his moon, casting a trine to natal Jupiter and casting a trine to natal Saturn. This is a grand trine. But most of all, that Rahu Jupiter in his 10th house, the eclipse happening in his 10th house, and the previous eclipse happening in his 4th house, whereas his mother passed to give him the throne. It's all here astrologically. It's simple. It's easy to understand, really it is, that wherever the planets are transiting, particularly Jupiter, it's going to give you expansion and a new opportunity. And wherever the eclipses are always a radical shift and change in your life. So with that, I think I'll close. I thought this was just a fascinating description of how astrology works using a chart that is extraordinary and powerful and that we all know. This is the beauty of astrology. So with that, I'll close. Thank you.